everybody, Fiona Paltridge here with you again for another Donna Downey Artist Gang, and today I'm going to put together a little art journal page for you. I picked up this little book in an old secondhand store when I was on holidays a couple of months ago, and I just love the decoration that's on the pages. I've been using it as an art journal, and I get really disappointed when I have to cover up these gorgeous flower patterns. So what I decided to do was grab hold of Donna's trio silhouette stencil. Yep, trio silhouette, that's the one. And I've just I'm going to use it as a mask so that I can still keep some of those beautiful flower images through the stencil. So I've just grabbed some paints here. These are golden fluid acrylics, and I've got a bit of cobalt turquoise, some teal, and a little bit of viridian green, but I've mixed some Titan buff in it because it was a little bit too green. I wanted a bit more pastel-y. What I love about the golden fluid acrylics is they're a little bit transparent, so I can sponge the colour over the top of my background paper and I don't lose all of that pattern unless I come in and do a second layer. So with the transparent paints, that's the bonus of them, is you don't always necessarily lose all of the detail underneath. But if you do want them to be a little bit more opaque, you simply just have to come in with a second layer, see, like I have done here, and it pretty much covers up your background. That's what I really love about the golden paints with the fluids. Heavy bodies have got their place, but in the fluids, I really like them in my journal. So I've just done a really quick coverage here, gone around the outside of the silhouettes, and now just to really make them stand out, I mean, they're going to stand out anyway as soon as I pull the mask away. But what I decided to do was I wanted to stamp one of my favourite quotes around the outside. And look, I've just used an archival ink because I'm going to add some more water over the top, so I need this to dry really fast and well so that it doesn't actually smudge or smear. And you'll see later when I add some water to it that it actually stays exactly where it needs to be. It doesn't shift at all. And the final one that I stamped on here I put in a really nice obvious place so you could still actually read the quote. And then here comes my favourite magic pencil. God, I love these things. So this is the Stabilo Marxall Aquarelle anyway, it's a black watercolor pencil, and it is the best on the market. I mean, I've tried lots of others, but this is seriously the favorite. This is one of those pencils that you just, if you don't have it in your kit, you don't know what you're missing. And watch this, as I add the water, it just beautifully blends all the way around the outside, and it creates this amazing shadow that, I don't know, I just couldn't do it with my watercolors. I just couldn't do it with my charcoals. This pencil is the only way to do this successfully. I wanted to add some shadow around the outside because this really helps these silhouette shapes stand out. I don't mind if it bleeds a little bit underneath. That's all good. There I go. Add a little bit more. Want a little bit more darkness on this side. See what I mean about this archival ink pad? It's not going anywhere. It is set, seriously set. I do hit it with a heat gun in a minute because I have used the Stabilo pencil, and I do want that to set in case I want to put another layer over the top. But do remember, it is water soluble, so as soon as you hit it with water again, it's going to move, unlike the archival ink that's now set in place and is not going anywhere like a cement block. So yeah, a little bit of heat to it just to dry it off. I'm very impatient. Probably should have dried it a little bit more for the next process, but that's okay. Now here's a little bit of matte gel medium. It doesn't matter whether it's gloss or matte or whatever because it's going underneath, and I'm going to pop some white or clear tissue tissue paper over the top. There it is. See what I mean by impatient? Probably should have made sure it was properly dry. I didn't have those little wet bits, but that's okay because it actually made the tissue paper a little bit easier to tear. But the theory here is that the tissue paper sticks to the gel medium and gives a smoky, ghosty effect over the top of my little people that have appeared once I've removed the mask, the Donna Downey Stencil Trio Silhouette Mask. Gosh, that was a mouthful. I've been sick. I've had this sinus infection, so talking's a real effort. But anyway, you know, life goes on. So I did the tissue paper effect to all three of the silhouette shapes. But the very last one, because I was lazy, I kind of only just did half of it. But I didn't mind because I like that really rustic ragged, you know, rough edges kind of look. I didn't want it to be perfect. Look, if you want it to be perfect, you can get in with your scissors and, you know, trim around the outside, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, this page is kind of a bit rustic to begin with the pattern coming through and the flowers and everything, and I quite liked it. I've hit it a little bit over the top with a bit of matte gel medium just to stick those last little pieces of tissue paper down, but do remember that your mark saw is going to shift with the gel medium because it's a wet soluble. And then what I did just to finish it off, because I just felt that it needed a little tiny bit of, not detail, but intricacy. Maybe that was a better word, intricacy. So I've got my, I think it's a 4B pencil. Love my pencil. It's just a graphite pencil. It's nothing fancy. It's just what you would use to do some sketching with. And I've scribbled around the outside of those shapes. I love that scribble effect with a really loose wrist action, holding right down the end of the pen. Even when I'm writing here, you can see that I'm holding it halfway up. It sort of gives you a bit more of a looser action. And that's pretty much all I did. It's a very simple page, but man, it came together well. So I will catch you guys one more time, only one more time at the end of the year in December. I seriously cannot believe how quickly this year has just disappeared. The whole year with Donna Downey. It's been amazing. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. See ya.